Welcome to the Hey Soul Sista podcast, where Mel Histon will guide you through life's big questions and bring you one step closer to doing this crazy journey as best you can.
Hey Soul Sisters, today in the Newcastle podcast station, recording Hey Soul Sista, we're doing a deep dive into the essential skill of resilience. What it means, how to cultivate it, and why it's crucial for all of us for navigating life's inevitable challenges, and how it can help us to live a more soulful life. And today, my special guest is one of my favourite guests, regular on Hey Soul Sista, provisional psychologist extraordinaire, Kaz Amos. Hello.
Hello. If you could see, like, for everybody who gets to watch, just how much we're looking into each other's eyes and have this little mutual admiration of each other.
We literally are sitting here staring at each other right now with big smiles. Lying. I know. I love Kazi.
And I love your company, and I love being here and being able to talk about some of the really tough stuff and how we can get through it, as you say, this crazy life of ours. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, you know, in the beginning of this year, 2024, I spent 5 weeks up the coast at a beach place, and I really thought hard about setting intentions for this year and beyond, of course. And one of the things that I really want to bring in even more is to live more soulfully, to live more peacefully.
It sounds like a real, like, going internal and noticing how you feel on the inside to find those intentions and what feels right for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for Hey Soul Sista, funnily, that I set that intention to go, okay, I really want to do some really great meaty topics for all of us on how we can live that more soulful, calm, joyful life. And so I guess resilience and being resilient is one of those important things for all of us to live soulfully.
It sure is. I think you're right. You said, and it's an essential skill. It's also not something I don't think we're always born feeling resilient. Maybe that's more of an adult thing that we come to that, I mean, as kids, we bounce back, you know, we fall down.
Yeah.
Scrape a knee, break a bone, everything's okay.
That's so true. And the world falls apart.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And yet as adults, sometimes we just feel like we can't get out of bed because something is confronting or difficult. So we, as adults, I guess, can build a more resilient frame of mind. And I guess even sometimes watching kids and how they bounce back, but noticing that they're looking at their parents and their adults as well as to how they treat them if they've fallen down or what they're doing when they're in pain. And having that modelled to them with grown-ups who choose to be okay and calm and, like you say, the intention to be okay.
Yeah. When you were saying that just then, I was thinking there is so much that actually can determine how resilient we are, even from being a little kid and seeing how our parents react to things, how other people react to things, what's a behaviour that's okay or not okay. And not that it all comes down to that, because again, can we develop it?
Yeah, I guess that's where we have a choice.
Yeah.
Where we learn that it's okay to choose what's okay and not okay for us.
So, Kaz, provisional psychologist extraordinaire.
If you're wondering what a provisional psychologist is, it means I'm at the end of my internship of learning how to be a psychologist, and I've got a little bit longer to go, but not too much.
But you're amazing. You've been studying for years, and you've been doing, you've been practicing for the last few years.
Like 30's a few.
30's a long time, my friend. 30's a long time. So can you define for us, for our listeners, what is resilience? What are we talking about?
Well, the first thing I do is Google what the origin of the word is, and it really essentially means to rebound or recoil, bounce back. It also has a small inference of durability and stamina as part of that. So I think they're the ingredients of what resilience is. I think it's also emotional adaptability, emotional flexibility to move through hard things. And I guess that's in a way how resilience can be built, that constant, rather than getting stuck. That doesn't feel very resilient. That feels very stuck. Yeah. And resilience is about moving and having some flexibility within yourself to deal with hard situations.
Yeah. So what does non-resilience look like? Is that a word, non-resilience?
It is now. Non-resilience. Well, I didn't even think about that, but would you think that it is that kind of stuckness, or maybe a sense of defeat?
Yeah. Or living in overwhelm and going down the emotional rabbit hole.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we go back to the original meaning, to rebound, it's not to rebound, it's to stay in that, like, the depth of despair or the difficulty.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to get stuck in the difficulty, in the bad feeling emotions.
I think we don't want to do that, but sometimes we have situations that seem like they're impossible to overcome in some way. I'm sure we've all been in positions where we're like, oh no, this one's too hard. I cannot do this.
About 12 years ago, I was in a small business workshop group. It was a long time ago. And there was a girl in there, a lady in there, and her and her husband had a business, and she was a mum. And it was really interesting. Each time that we met, she always had a story about, oh, this morning I just had a meltdown. I was trying to get the kids to school and I was trying to get myself ready for work, and I had a meltdown and I sat down and cried. And she kind of had this story each time that this group met. And I remember thinking, and that seemed really foreign to me. The group would kind of go a bit silent. Well, nobody would say anything. And then she'd be like, well, it's okay to have a meltdown. It's okay for me to sit down and lose it. And I guess, do you know what? That happens from time to time. But it's actually, so you're saying it's not getting stuck in that. It's not getting stuck in the overwhelm or having the meltdown and not being able to pick yourself up.
Yeah.
And keep going.
Yeah. And to be able to recognize, oh, this is the meltdown, and maybe I can stay here for a period of time, but I've got other things I need to get done and I've got other places I need to be. The other thing about being stuck is it interrupts your joy.
Yeah.
It interrupts the love stuff, the good stuff that you have in your life, your pleasure, being stuck somewhere emotionally. And I say that, but sometimes that's where resilience is built, in the difficulty.
Yeah.
I don't think resilience is one of those things that necessarily is given to you and you say, oh, thank you, that's my resilience. It comes from struggle. Yeah. It comes from, being bounced around. It comes from having to learn how to fall down and get back up again and on repeat, because that's life.
Yeah, because we don't want to stay on the ground. No.
If we stay down, then what?
Yeah.
It feels miserable.
Yeah, and we don't want to go through life like that.
No, because really, how do we treat one another if we feel that way?
Yeah. And you know what? We meet people like that. It's the old garbage truck, you meet somebody, or you might see somebody on the street and they're yelling at somebody else. They're unloading their garbage on them like a garbage truck. Or, someone might come into the office, or you might see them at the shopping centre and they adjust. You can see them. They're giving off their energy, the words they're using, their body language. They're in that hard, stuck place. Something's going on for them, and you see that and you go, that person, you don't want them living in that constant state. And they don't want to be living in that constant state. No. But it would, through our time at Got Your Back Sister, so Kaz used to run our workshops at Got Your Back Sister, helping women who've experienced domestic violence. We've seen a lot of women with a lot of trauma who've really experienced some really hard stuff in life, abuse and feelings of worthlessness, and can quite often get stuck in that place. And, there was something that was what you did really well, Kaz, was actually guiding and helping those women to get out of that stuck place.
I think some of that is reminding people that there's hope of something different.
Yeah.
It's like our life cycles when we're repeating same behaviour over and over and over. And there is something in that, well, this is my belief, there's something in that moment of crisis or that moment of struggle and difficulty that maybe I can potentially learn, maybe while I'm not on the floor. Glennon Doyle talks about her on the bathroom floor moment, which was, her rock bottom. And I'm not saying we have to get to our rock bottom, but sometimes we get to our rock bottom and that's where we know we have to go up from here. And I need to find a way. I have to find a way. That's resilience.
Yeah.
It's I'm finding a way. I don't know how, but I'm finding a way. And with Got Your Back Sister, finding a way is showing up.
Absolutely.
Attending a group, bravely putting yourself out there with other women who maybe share a similar story to you, but just showing up. When I was putting my information together for today, because I've had a thought brewing in my mind for the last probably about for the last month. And my thought that's been brewing is maybe it doesn't matter the thing that you do, right? Daily practice of yoga. I wish. Drinking more, whatever. Even all of those good things that we go, oh, yes, I must do more of that and I must do more of that. And I think that it doesn't matter whether it's the same one or the different one. The action of showing up for yourself so that you no longer feel the same that you did yesterday, that's, I think, the process of building resilience. So, yeah, that's been my little mind-boggling epiphany.
I love that.
It came to me in a little bit. I was doing 40 days of a yoga practice. I did not make 40 days. I'm just letting everybody know right now I am not the guru. It was a 40-minute practice morning and night. I was cutting out my sleep so I could get there and do the yoga practice and the meditation practice. It actually really helped my sleep. So just in case you want to know, it really did work. But when I was doing that, I was like, what the hell am I doing this for? It kind of feels nice, but it's also difficult and there's struggle in this. Is it helping me anywhere in my life? Well, sleep, yes, and that's essential. It's also helping me to calm my farm a bit, which you couldn't use a little bit more of that. But then I thought, what's the action here? The action is I'm showing up for myself. Just me.
Yeah.
No one else is here. There's no medal. There's no gratitude. There's no thanks. There's no prize. The prize is me. Showing up for me.
How beautiful is that?
Well, is that sound like resilience to you?
Absolutely.
Like building resilience through a practice of some sort?
Yeah.
I'm swimming every day at the moment for Surf February. My 3rd year of doing it, 28, 29 days this year of swimming every day. I'm telling you, it's annoying some days because I don't feel like it, or I want to sleep in, or I just don't have time in the day. But I'm showing up, and I'm showing up for a cause, but I'm also showing up for myself. And I'm feeling like, oh, this is interesting, this practice of showing up for me.
Yeah.
I'm building something here, and I don't really know what it is, but it feels like something. Commitment to myself, capacity, ability. Then I don't feel so hopeless.
How good is that?
Yeah.
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 Do you know what's interesting? I'm going to say this. I think as a person, generally, I'm pretty resilient. And because I've been reflecting on that, on the resilience, that I will say that about myself as a good thing that I like about myself is that I am pretty resilient. And if I have moments of, feeling emotionally bad, feeling down, something happens that upsets me, that I generally can lift myself and keep on trucking, keep on going and not staying in that space. And it's funny, I was thinking, I'm like, where does that come from? And really, I have these memories of being a child, being a little girl and, having those moments where I am scared or I'm nervous or I don't feel well. Or for me, if I was anxious, because I was quite an anxious child, and that would show up by vomiting and feeling sick. So,
your little tummy.
Yeah.
Your little tummy knew.
So I used to get so nervous before going to swimming lessons and I'd vomit in the car park.
I thought you were going to say in the pool then.
No, I didn't vomit in the pool.
Worse.
I used to vomit in the car park before going into the swimming lesson, and Dad would take me, and I remember sitting in the car park and I'd be vomiting because I was so nervous about going in. And my dad would be like, come on. He'd let me have that moment, and then he'd be like, you're okay, come on, you can do this, up you get, we're going to go in, and I couldn't even really articulate why I was nervous, and it was because I didn't know he was going to be there. I didn't know what the teacher was like. Was it going to be too hard for me? Was I going to be the kid that, that is like drowning in the swimming lesson? And, for a little kid, that was overwhelming for me. And my dad would be like, no, come on. And by actually going in and then, doing the class, be like, oh, this is okay. I'm fine. But my dad would, he'd allow me that moment and he'd be kind around that, but he'd still make me do it.
I reckon you're hitting on two really important things about resilience in that story. One is the unknown.
Yeah.
I think that's where we build the resilience as well, in the face of the unknown.
Yeah.
And our world, even though so much of it's predictable, maybe that's the thing that makes all the unknown even more scary, because we can predict our world pretty well. Sun's going to come up, it's going down, there's food on our tables, there's roofs over our heads. So in this country, in this moment in time, safety is pretty easy to access most of the time. When there is unknown or uncertainty in your life, that's when it's so hard to feel like you're being resilient.
Yeah.
You feel like you're most vulnerable. So
Absolutely.
maybe they don't feel like they go together. I guess little you in that moment was freaking out, not knowing, am I going to be that kid? Am I going to drown? All the fears that are unknown. And the second part that stood out to me is the beautiful gift that your dad gave you, self-talk.
Yeah.
It's okay. I've got this. I can do this. I can try. I can have my moment where I am falling down and vomiting. I can have my sick. I can have my body telling me that I'm afraid, and I can allow that moment to come and go with support, and then it will pass. And then I can go and do the thing.
Yeah.
I'm still probably a little bit afraid.
Yeah. And I'm actually very grateful to him for that, because there's been key moments in my life where that has happened. I've been, and he could have been different. He could have gone, oh, that's okay, you don't have to do it. And I never would have conquered that fear. I never would have actually learned, okay, this feels uncomfortable. I don't like this and I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. Like he taught me that.
Yeah.
Whereas he could have been different. He could have been like, you don't have to do that. Don't worry about swimming lessons. And I never would have learnt to swim, or I would have never actually learnt or understood that we can feel scared sometimes. We can have those like really crappy emotions. But actually, if we just kind of face it and get through it,
Yeah.
it's okay.
That's resilience right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to save your soul? Review us on Apple Podcast.
And I'll just share one more little story, because I go, for me, this 20 years later, I was living in Broome, and I remember I got invited to speak at a women's group there. I was finishing off my uni degree at the University of Notre Dame, and I got asked to do a 10-minute talk to a women in business group there, and I was like 22 or 23. I wasn't in business. And I remember thinking to myself, I didn't want to do it. I was so scared to do that. I didn't want to do it. But I remember thinking, no, you're going to do this. You're going to do it. And yeah, you're going to be really nervous and you're going to hate it. But when you get to the end, how good are you going to feel that you did it?
Yeah.
And I remember I wrote that speech. I practiced it every day at home for a week, and I was so goddamn nervous going and doing it and speaking. And it was literally not standing. I was sitting with a group of women for 10 minutes and telling them about my life. But then doing it anyway, and then going, oh, I did that. And I think about that often now when I get nervous. I go, no, you did that back then. You were so nervous, but you did it.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember having a whole year I promised myself at the beginning of the year that I would say yes to every opportunity that came. Yeah, I ended up speaking at a state conference for educators, and I was like, they don't know who I am, but that's okay. I'm here anyway.
I love it.
So, but you know, I guess that's where you're building those muscles of resilience, being able to rebound, being able to bounce back, and doing a continuous practice over and over. And have you stopped rebounding in your life now?
No, I actually call on resilience a lot.
Yeah.
I call on it a lot because the last 8 years, I've had a lot of moments of fear and a lot of moments of taking big leaps. Like when I started Got Your Back Sister, a lot of those moments where I've been really fearful. But then, you know, coming back to, no, that's okay. This does, I know I'm scared, but actually I'll be okay and I'll get through it. And then coming out the other side and going, oh, actually, I did that. Hey, tick that off.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And each time I do that, you kind of go, no, that's okay. It's another thing in the resilience bucket.
Yeah. I reckon too, like I'm thinking about our listeners and maybe as parents, ways that we can teach that to our children and, you know, modelling that idea that we can be kind but strong.
Yeah.
And flexible at the same time, and being that for our children, acknowledging, yeah, this is scary, this is hard. What do you imagine happens at the end once you get past it? Because it won't be like this permanently. If there's anything that resilience teaches us, it's a continuous over and over. It's not like a one-off and you tick it and it's complete.
Because we face challenges all the time.
Well,
things happen. Like shit happens.
Every day.
Shit happens in life every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess, not getting stuck. So what would you say, Kaz, to someone who, you know, going back to Glennon Doyle, and she's, you know, you're on the metaphor. Okay, it might be the physical floor, but it might be the metaphorical floor. You know, you're going through a really tough time, and you know, whatever that is. What's some of the things that we can do, the Soul Sister can do to actually get that resilience?
I think there is a number of ingredients to this. And It's funny, this morning before coming, on Thursdays I meet with a group of friends, and they'll love this. Shout out to the Love Club.
Yay, the Love Club.
The Love Club. These are the loveliest women I've ever met in my life, and I'm the youngest person in the group, so I'm like the baby. All these women have gone before me, and I see them as a real source of wisdom. It's not. It's just coffee, breakfast. It's really, and it's just all of us gooing and garring over what we're doing in our lives. But it does feel like a really supportive group. So I asked the Love Club what they thought about this question, and they also agreed with me that having a group of people around you who maybe are a little bit in front of you in your stage in life, it gives you a resource so that you can reflect that back to your own life. Not compare, but reflect back and go, oh, I wonder if I could try that. You know, Jane said that, and it seemed to work for her. And Julie, well, she said that. Lucy said that. I wonder if I could take something from each of my friends here as a support to help me navigate the things in front of me. That can be professionally, it can be in parenting, relationships. Another thing that the Love Club said, befriend yourself. Be your own bestie.
I love that.
Like, be so nice to yourself. Talk to yourself like your dad told you to. Oh, love, this is hard. This is tough right now. But I know you can do this. I know you can be on the other side of this, and there will be a moment in time where you will reflect back, and you'll be able to see how far you've come. Oh, Lord knows, through this journey of like going back to uni and all that sort of thing, I've had to have moments where I literally go, hang on, where was I in first year? Oh, that's all right. Okay. I've come a long way and I'm still okay. I might not feel it sometimes, but I'm still okay. I'm still okay. So having support people around you, sometimes asking the crisis to let you know what you need to learn about yourself, it will answer you. It sounds ridiculous to a degree, but it will answer you. You know, you need to learn this. Maybe there's, and we ask ourselves that question, maybe there's something here I need to learn about myself. That's so I don't keep the cycle of the same behavior, the same relationships, the same environment going over and over again. Because that's the stuckness, not necessarily building resilience. We build resilience when we change the thing. I have said showing up for yourself daily. Oh, the last one is understanding that we are responsible entirely for our own lives. And I
love that.
Well, I have. So there's the word responsibility. When I hear the word responsibility, I think, well, there's more for me to do. Oh, great, eye roll. But if I break it into two parts, it's my ability to respond in any given moment, and I have full choice. Like, the options for me in that moment are endless. If I am stuck in reactivity, I can only react. And reactions are often very visceral and come from often our gut, which is screaming, this is terrible, this is awful, painful. But if I switch over into my response, you know, a mindset that's a little bit more open, a little bit more flexible, if I even press pause just for a moment on this situation and go, hang on a second, I just need to take a breath before I do the next thing, then I can respond. And I choose that. May not be correct. That's okay. There's more responses out there. I can try another thing and see how that works. But then I'm responsible for my own life.
Do you know what I love that you just said is, it might not work out, and that's okay. Because how often do we take ourselves way too seriously and what we're doing way too seriously? So we create this whole big image of our mind about something that we're doing, and it has to be a certain way, or we have to be a certain way. And if it doesn't work out, the world's falling in. And actually, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If it matters to us, then it matters to us. That's where our responsibility lies. You know, I'm a prime example of this. Wear an inspirational T-shirt. Go right ahead. It's probably not going to do anything about your resilience.
Kaz is sitting here in a T-shirt that says "Be kind" on it.
Yeah, and I don't usually
in a love heart.
I don't usually wear T-shirts that have instructions for the rest of the world on it because, I did have a T-shirt one time that said "Be a good person," and I just couldn't wear it. I'm like a fraud.
Be a good person.
Yeah, be a good person. But you know, maybe that's something, another place that we choose, you know, the never give up T-shirt that actually reminds us when we look in the mirror, that's my choice today. That's my response today. That's my ability to respond. Today I'm not going to give up. Today I'm going to be relentless. Today I'm going to choose, and then I'm going to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Today I'm going to be kind to myself.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, be kind.
Be kind.
Oh, I just had my own epiphany.
Beautiful. So some of the things that we've talked about is the importance of self-care practices, role modelling for our kids and also for others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Role modelling, and so we can share it with our friends.
Yeah. And having a good social support network.
Don't you think that, like, especially, well, I hear this a lot too, adult women, it's very difficult to make friends. I also had a teenager say this yesterday at work. It's so hard to make friends. It's a brave decision to make friends. It also, you can be choosy. You don't have to have all the friends. Just have a couple of really good ones.
Yeah.
That you trust, and that you can be each other's resilience sometimes, you know?
Yeah, that's gold.
Yeah. People connection. Like our brains are made of connections.
Yeah.
That's the inside, and it thrives on positive, not just positive, but good, not the word meaty or juicy or anything, but like just really solid people that you know you can go to. And you might only have 2 of them. That's fine. You might have 1. That's fine.
Yeah. That's been one of my, I guess, life lessons and life lessons that I've learned over the last 8 or 9 years, actually since starting Got You Back Sister, is literally having the importance of having the right people around you. When I say right people, the supportive, kind, loving people who have genuine reason for being part of, you know, my world or my life or Got You Back Sister, who are there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the investment is in you as a friend, not in you as a business or a charity or like as a connection to something else, but it's purely in you as a human being. And that, I guess that's something too, if you had a resilience diet or a resilience bag or a resilience ingredients, having someone that you can talk to whose only investment is you, and maybe it's not going to be a family member. Maybe it might be a therapist or a counsellor, a social worker or somebody else who's outside of your space but who's there for you.
Yeah.
It's a really important ingredient to...
It is so important. And if you don't have
that
in your friendship group or family, it's like go and find that amazing counsellor, therapist, mindfulness guru, Charlotte.
Yes, we love her. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That has been a life lesson for me, is having the right support people around you who genuinely want to see you do well or see me do well, but they're there for the right reasons.
Yeah, for the greater well-being, really, isn't it? Because they know if you're well, that's how you're going to move around in the world.
Yeah.
And that's how we make our worlds a more enjoyable, loving place to be in. I know it sounds a bit idealistic and cliche, but I can't really see it working any other way. Yeah. You know, I know if I wasn't kind to people on my day today, I wouldn't expect that they'd be nice to the person next to them after I left. They turn around and have a whinge about me. Yeah. That's just whingy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Kazi, what would you say to anybody who is struggling, who recognises that, like, you know, I'm stuck here, I'm on the floor, or this is going on for me and I'm struggling to pick myself up. I know that my resilience is quite low right now. What would you say to those people? What can they do?
Go back and have a look at it, all the times you have been resilient already before you got there, because that's actually happened. Yeah. That you would have had resilience in your life before that moment. Like you, a child, you're remembering when you were a child and going, yeah, I was resilient back then. I had this person teaching me something. You didn't know that in the moment, but you were certainly able to still go and do the thing. And have a look back. Acknowledge the moments in your life where you have had resilience. And then I would also find somebody around me who helps me promote that, or a group or a love club. Yeah. Or, you know, just those people who want you to be the best and happiest and calmest and lovingest person that you can be.
Because that's what we want in life.
That's what we want our life to look like.
Soulful, peaceful, calm.
Soulful, peaceful. That when you say that, my whole self just settles in. I get a little bit goosebumpy because it feels so calming and lovely to hear that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, my beautiful friend.
Aren't we lucky?
I know. So lucky I get to kind of hang with you in the studio today and have good chats.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yay. One of my beautiful, soulful friends.
Oh, thank you.
Yay. So, Kaz, where can people find you if they want to reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm at the Hummingbird Centre, and you simply have to call the Hummingbird Centre, and you can ask to book in and see me if you like. Remembering it's a psychology practice, there are also other counsellors and support people, social workers out there who are also great support people. So essentially look for the person who you believe would be right for you.
Thank you so much, Kaz, and thanks, Soul Sisters.
Thanks for listening to Hey Soul Sister with Mel Histon. What would help you on your crazy life journey? Email Melissa at thesistercode.com.